fitting to have the two of you as we kick off the DTP show. And because we are streaming inside of the Prep School Facebook group, that's where you guys started. I know a lot of our students already know you. A lot of my following already knows you because I brag about you guys all the time. But let me take this Ola off of your face, Krystal. But this is an opportunity to really showcase your journey to the prep school students. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go all the way into your build phase where our prep school students are to scale, which is our higher coaching program that really gives you it helps you scale, but you got to start with the foundation, right, which is prep school.
Yeah.
So okay, let's rewind. Let's give them the intro. So when did you guys even learn about Amber Crudup Branding Co., Amber Crudup Prep School, BBA, DTP, all that?
I guess I'll go first. I know that there's a delay, so I don't know if Jeanea can hear me, but I'll
No, I
jump
can
in
hear you
first.
fine.
Okay, cool. So I'm Krystal Puerto Real, just in case anybody doesn't know me. And so let's see, I came in contact with Amber, with Pastor Amber Crudup last year. And the way that happened was actually because someone was doing, I think Brittany, Jeanea, somebody was doing a conference.
Mm-hmm.
And during that conference, you were one of the speakers.
Yeah.
And I had been listening to all of these other people that weren't designers. It was still a great conference, but when you came on there and you gave your presentation, I think it was probably similar to the presentation that you guys all saw as well, for prep school. And girl, talking about the hot mess thing and everything, and I was like, wow, because literally, it was the first time that I saw a designer actually talking about the business side of design and making money, and honestly, it was the first time that I saw a designer of color as well that was at a certain level, because I didn't even really know that existed. I had been in the world of $150, $300 logos, so I didn't really know that was even possible. So that was kind of how I first came in contact with you, and then I started following you, and then I went to your webinar, and then it was the rest was all history.
Right. So that partner, or the summit, it was a summit with Brittany Jeanine. It wasn't May, it was April. I think it was April of 2020, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this is still very recent.
Oh yeah, it was in April, and then I joined next month. I was not playing when I saw that. I was like, I'm ready.
Okay, so before we move on to or have Jeanea tell us her story, give us some insight, because people they know where you are. Tell us what did your business look like starting prep school, or BBA, whichever you want to call it.
Okay, so I had actually, I think unlike a lot of people that are in here, I had actually been in business for 6 years at that point. But my business still wasn't what my business looked like, is me having a ton of clients, but still barely making any money.
Yeah.
So we're talking, on some months I was making $1,000 a month. There were some months I made nothing. A good month, we finna go out to eat, baby, was $2,500
Yes.
that month, so it literally looked like me being mad busy and not making the kind of money that made sense for me having my own business. And so I had no process really. I was doing all the things for people, but I was all over the place. It was maybe we'll do the logos first, or if they asked and wanted to get their website done first, I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
So clients were running projects,
running the show. How many of you here? So we have some viewers on Instagram and also on in the community. How many of you are kind of where Krystal was? Just you're making some money, but you're working a lot harder than what your bank account is saying, and your clients are running the show. Let us know. I see in the group it's a delay, but let's go ahead and have Jeanea kind of share her story, because I know, okay, Brittany says me, so that's her current struggle. So she gave us some little emojis in here. So yes, so many designers like that is like, we think that's just how it is. We don't know any
Yeah.
better. So Jeanea, tell us your story. So you kind of came in contact the same. Actually, you came in contact with me the exact same time as Krystal, right?
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
summit.
So I first came in contact with Coach A, as I say. I first came in contact with Coach A during Brittany Jennings' thing. I remember she made a couple posts, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like something I, will go to," because we all go to that free training that we never really converted.
Actually, that
And so
one
I
was
was,
paid. She charged for the
oh,
summit, so you did invest some money. I
I
think
might
it was
have,
like
right
a,
there we go. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So do
But
you
I'm
see
trying to
that
figure out.
energetic
I'm trying. I
network?
don't. I really don't even remember what made me do it. I think it honestly. I think it might have been affordability
Hmm.
because I liked Brittany at that time, but then also I was, dating a lot of people because I was in the space where like my business was starting to grow, but I really didn't have a coach.
Hmm.
So I was like, let me see what I'm gonna do, right? So I went to that and I was like, okay, I'll be a part of it, whatever. Because I was like, I really don't have any other options. I need to find me a coach. This is affordable. And so I'm gonna go with this because this seems like the right thing to do.
Right.
But I really didn't think that anything of it. I guess I really didn't expect for anything to change
Mm.
because it was so affordable. And I was like, this ain't gonna be the math. I mean, it's probably gonna be some little, free Facebook group I'm gonna be in, and that's gonna be that. But when I got up in that doggone BBA, it was like, woo, child, this is a whole heap of stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. This is what I needed. This is it. Right. And so I really didn't know what, and I'll stop there because I'm sure you'll have more questions. But simply
Okay.
put, that's how I came in contact with you. And it was the best decision I ever made.
Okay, so let me ask you the same question as Krystal. So when you came into contact with me through a summit that you had found, um, you said you were dating a lot of coaches. I love that expression, because I think you should, right? To find that right
Mhm.
person, that right fit. Um,
Yeah.
so like, why were you looking for a coach specifically? What was it that you were wanting to do in your business?
Well, at that time, I mean, I guess I have always had a full time job because I have a degree, a bachelor's and master's in psychology, and so at that point, I was, I think, no, at that point, it was April 2020, and so I had already gotten my degree, my master's, and I really wasn't making no money. I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I wasn't making no money, and the job wasn't doing anything I needed to do, and my business was doing really good. I just felt like I wasn't making the type of money I wanted to make that I saw other people making,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to get grounded. There were things I didn't know about systems that I wanted to know. There were things I didn't know about processes because I just kind of made up my own,
Yeah.
and it worked for somebody who was doing it, on their own, but I needed to go to another level. And I needed to actually get my stuff together in a way that would move me more than where I was going. Because I
Right.
was moving and had already started a wait list, but I figured during that time that I was on maternity leave, I would try to, have some downtime, work on a little bit of a rebrand, and buy me a coach so I could, use that wait list that I had.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what tickles my fancy.
Got you. Okay,
And
so you dating, trying to figure it out, see
yeah, I
what's
was trying to figure
what.
out who was doing what, and I needed to go somewhere in this business.
Okay.
And that was the time for me to, find someone who I really felt I could trust. And I
Yeah.
think for I guess I don't know if you're gonna ask. Are you gonna ask why we chose that program?
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna talk about all of
Okay,
it.
cool. Then I'll stop
Like
there.
I'm
So we
asking
get
about
to,
everything.
Okay, so this is for both of you. I'll ask Krystal first, but it's kind of a piggyback off of what you said, Jeanea, where you were like, it was just a little $67 investment. I'm just going to see. You didn't have high expectations.
Yeah.
Right? So, and this is exact $67 is what prep school costs you guys. And here's the thing, when it was BBA, it was actually a 12-month commitment. So you actually had to put a little bit of skin in the game. Now, BBA is, yeah, you can cancel whenever you want to, because like I understand things happen, but so all of our students coming in, they're paying $67. You guys experienced being in a group of people who are also paying $67, and we witnessed, all three of us together collectively witnessed people not utilizing what they had access to. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what is it going to take for you to make this $67 investment work for you. Krystal, you want
to... This is a good one.
Woo! Like,
I'm like, this is good. Wow. This is good. This is a good question.
Like, it's personal. You know what I mean? Like, you literally have to find whatever it is that's motivating you for wanting to do this. For me, the huge motivation was that my husband had been basically funding our lifestyle, paying all the bills for years, even though I was sitting over here having a business. So for me, this was a ride or die, like, are we going to do this or not?
Yeah.
Or not. And so it was personal for me to treat this in a way that was like, this is it. If this doesn't work, then I probably was going to shut my business down. This is real talk. And so for me, I feel like in order for you to be successful in this program, because like you said, there was people that dropped off. You would have meetings and it would only be two of us there. Me and Jeanea would be riding with the,
we was getting one-on-one coaching at that point.
For $67.
I'm here. So are we going to get some questions answered? Because I guess it's going to be a 3-way coaching experience, because I'm not leaving.
But y'all showed up. So you showed up. Okay, so number one, so prep school students, if you're listening, like, number one, show up. Because, so Krystal, do y'all mind, like, we are on Instagram, it's not just in our community, so if you don't want to share, that's fine as well. But can you give me some insight, revenue-wise, where you were, BBA, prep school, versus where you are now, so that because what I want them to understand, prep school students, you guys, what you're going through right now, the content, everything you have access to, is exactly what Krystal and Jeanea had access to. So the results that they have started where you are right now. And that's why we're having this conversation, so you can understand the significance of it. It's only $67, but what you get is so invaluable. It's a matter of, are you going to do anything with it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let y'all keep talking, because I didn't do anything. I didn't take the program, but y'all did.
So revenue-wise,
girl.
So revenue-wise, I really don't know. I can't even tell you what the heck I was making, because I'm sure if you're watching this, especially if you're in prep school, you've been there with the little $50 logos, the little, $100 flyer graphics, or whatever you're doing. That's where I was at. I may have made, I think maybe before this program, I think my highest, like, little package I had was like $450. And that was like logo. That was
like the whole thing.
Branding. That was colors. That was strategy. That was meeting you at Starbucks like 3 or 4 times for you to give me $8 business on your logo that you weren't sure about, right? That was the whole 9. The little website that was just non-converting, right? That was all that for $450. Drove me absolutely nuts. Didn't make no money off of it. So I really can't tell you exactly how much money I was making, because it really was a side hustle where I was not prepared to understand how much money I was bringing in, or even know how much my packages were, or even determine my value. I was at a point in my business where I really didn't even believe that I was even worth a $7,000 package.
Listen, can I
because
do
I didn't know what type of value I had. I'm like, I didn't think I was worth it. So now I'm in a place where, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but I won't give up all of it. But let's just say this year alone, I have pocketed $80K.
Oh,
And
in the
I'm
pocket.
like,
Ah,
right,
okay.
right.
And let's just
That's
back
what
up
I
a
wanted,
minute.
and
Let's just back
that's what
up.
I wanted this to do. But I mean, that little $67. I'll tell you, for me, I'm gonna keep saying that little $67 because for everything in this program, oh, you're basically getting it for free.
For free. It's
You're
free,
getting
you
it
guys.
for free.
like the program is
It's
free.
free. That
Yes.
$67
Throw
is
something
gonna
at
make
you,
the
Jeanea.
stuff that if you commit 3 months. All you have to do is 3 months, and it will convert.
Mhm.
And so, for me, I don't know what made me do it, but I also feel like if you're going to be a part of this program, show up, do the work, go through those modules, think about where your mindset is blocked. Because for me, it was the fact that I didn't think I was worth it. Now I don't give a doggone if you can't afford my price. Now I'm gonna help you if God tells me to do it
Right.
because I'm obedient.
Not a
But
doggone. Okay.
right, but the Lord leads this, right? But also, I know what my value is, and that's something that I did not know before this program
Okay, so
because I
we're
thought
gonna
I
talk
was
about
fifty
value.
dollars for a logo.
I definitely
Huh?
want to talk about that. I definitely want to talk about the value and like kind of where you were and where you are now when it as it relates to value and being able to communicate it, articulate it, all of that. But first, so Jeanea, you went from not knowing how much money you were making because you were side hustling, didn't really you weren't tracking stuff, you don't know how long stuff took you, so you really don't know how much money you made. To now,
Mhm.
in a year and a half, it's been so April, you joined April, May,
I
June,
did
July, August,
started
September. So yeah, a
started
year
the
and a
next
half.
August.
So from a year and a half, you went from not knowing how much you were making to charging, $4.50 for packages, $50 logos, taking on all the little stuff, to now you have in your pocket from your side business $80,000.
Yeah.
$80,000.
Let's just say, I mean, I banked it.
You banked it,
I don't
yeah.
know if it's in my pocket because I got
Well, yeah,
expenses,
of course, but it
but I
made it to
banked it,
your bank.
and that's what I'm proud of. When I go to my Dubsado, it says that I met 80% of my goal,
Yes,
and that's what I wanted.
exactly.
Yeah.
And with your invoices, you have six
Oh
figures.
yeah, with my invoices, I'm there. I'm
Yeah,
there.
you're
Praise the
there.
Lord.
Exactly.
Good. We can shout right now.
Yes. Okay, so from not knowing what you got going on to six figures. Okay, Krystal, what you got? Tell us.
Okay, y'all. Woo! This is crazy. And y'all know, listen, if y'all don't know in prep school, you'll find out that I'm a little emo. So I'm gonna try to keep it together. But
Hi,
when
girl.
Jeanea be like,
Yeah,
go on
that's
and
what I
cry,
thought. This is
girl.
gonna be a crying session.
Y'all, I just finished crying on Instagram. I don't know if y'all saw me. I was a whole hot mess over there.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch
I
it.
tried
Like
to skip
Amber,
through, but I didn't
that's
get there, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
y'all, this is crazy. And just you even saying that it's been a year and a half just actually just hit me even more.
Mhm.
But so when I joined the program, and I know the only reason I know these numbers is because I remember there was a sheet in there where you had us to track
The
or to
monthly
go back and
reflection.
actually look.
Yep.
And y'all, I was not playing. I went back and looked like way from like that beginning of that year, I think I started. But literally there was I remember specifically that when I think it was I may have joined in April at the end of April, and then May came around and I had like a 200% increase, and that month was like $3,500. So that tells you that I was way down, and I
Mhm.
had a package that was $1,500, but I would never charge $1,500. So I had the package there, and I had called myself being so proud of raising my prices.
But you didn't
But
charge
every
it.
time girl, no. Every
I'm
time I would
telling
get on the
you,
phone with
that's one
somebody,
thing.
I would literally get like scared every time I would get on the phone with somebody, and I would never end up actually charging that amount, or I would break it down into like ridiculous payments to the point where it was like I don't have no cash flow.
Yeah.
So like y'all, this is literally like the first time I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna just be completely transparent. So This year, I've actually hit over 200K cash in my business.
Oh
Hey!
my God.
We got multiple six figures in here, okay? Okay.
Yes.
But hold on, I had to remind you.
Wow.
Do you remember last we did this in BBA. We planned out the next year. Do you remember? And you showed up to that planning session and you were like, I want to make $250,000 in 2021. And you were like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this is what I want. And
Wow.
you're already at 200K plus.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
did
I'm
you
definitely
really
gonna hit that?
how?
Like literally, Amber, this is how crazy your strategies are. Even with just that planning that we did, it allows me to be so accurate. I told you I still use, that same thing that you taught us, and it allows me to be so accurate that like literally that I'm gonna hit right at that number or maybe a little bit over this year. And you taught us how to get cash, not revenue only.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Okay. And that's I will.
Yeah.
Same thing I was showing Aaron, my husband. I look at my numbers every single day. I know what's what. And I was showing him where I was at, and he was like, so do you think you're going to hit that next number? I was like, oh, I already know I have. Like, I just need the days to pass and the money will be there. Because the way I got stuff set
It's
up.
there, honey. You don't have to worry. It's coming.
It's there. And then I was like, well, if I take what I did because we were looking at Stripe, I was like, if I take PayPal revenue, I've already done it. But I ain't even looking at that. It's that one.
Come on, Play Money and PayPal.
Play Money. That's what my PayPal account is, y'all.
You got that leisure, okay? It's about that leisure, okay?
So my PayPal account, that's where I am. Like, if I'm giving away a book, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna pay for it out of that. Like that's that. I'm putting it back in money. It's gravy, and that really is what the strategies I teach are about. It's about building that foundation. So you can get to the gravy, so you can get to the money, so you can get to the leisure, so you can get to the freedom, to the vacation, and you don't have to work, to being able to take a whole month off. That was that really set off all of this. Was my desire to want to be able to take a month off in the summer to be with my kids because my husband was in the military. I knew that it was up to me to do the fun summer stuff, right? They're out. So that's where all this came from. And literally, like, it's as simple as following the steps. It's that simple.
That simple, like for real. That was one thing that
literally
attracted me to you as well, like knowing that, because my husband's in the military too. And I just felt like, oh my God, because there's even a mindset issue with just being a military spouse and thinking that you're not the one that's supposed to be the breadwinner, or oh, you got your little business online.
Little business. And when you talk to all the other military wives, they're like, oh, so you work?
Yeah. Oh, you're
I do a little more than that.
online.
Oh yeah. So what do you do now? Yeah. I had to like tell someone, because in this community it is military, and my oldest little friend would just come over all the time, and I had to tell his mom, like, I work from home, so he can't just come over. And she just couldn't wrap her mind around, like, your husband isn't the only, like, he doesn't do all. No, like, I want to do this too. This isn't just, it's not about the money. Like, I need something to do with my life. I'm not just a army wife, a mom. So I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about like the problems you guys were struggling with. We talked about like that before. We've talked about where you've gotten, but I want to dig a little bit more into the journey. How did you get there? Especially for our prep school students who are in your situation right now, literally, like, even with going through the content. So, first, I want to tap into the frustration of how it felt before you figured out, like, that there was a place, there was a community, there was a coach. Like, how did it feel trying to figure this stuff out on your own? Because I know a lot of our students are having to come out of that feeling. So, what was that like for you guys?
I think for me, it was like, I just, it's like trying to get the ball into the hoop and it just won't go.
Mm.
No matter how hard you try, it will not go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. And no matter how hard I tried, because I didn't know how to shoot a ball.
Mhm.
I don't have no plan, and I don't have the tools, right? And so that's what I would compare it to. I feel like I was just hitting empty points. I couldn't get nothing.
Yeah.
And so although I did get these, I could get a $50 logo. You want me to just do your logo? That's fine.
Mhm.
You want me to do a church program? Okay, got that. You want me to do a flyer for your event? I can do that. But I was tired of doing, I was so irritated with doing these little one-off projects and having to do, I hated going back and making edits on them dumb flyers. Oh my God.
Girl,
It irritates me to my core that I have to sit here and make 7,000 edits. And I remember I had one client, and I was still doing it because Amber told me, you need to stop doing those little one-off logos, and that's not going to do anything. That's not converting. That's not who you want. You've already said this. My dumb self. I did it. I was the rebel. Krystal was the one that did exactly what. If you
follow, she did the straight and narrow.
If you could compare this to parents
my
and stuff,
husband literally told
Krystal
me
was
that
the
I'm
child.
a teacher's pet.
Yeah, Krystal did and JB thinks I'm a teacher's pet too. That's fine. Except for I was the one just doing whatever I wanted to do, right? I just was like, okay, I'm gonna try it, whatever, I'll try it for it. And so I kept taking the stupid things. And I remember this one last one I had one last flyer, and this lady had me doing like 8 edits on the flyer. And I already was Krystal saying, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to do that. I was like, why am I still doing this? Why? And I was so irritated and so frustrated. And this lady's probably still mad with me to this day. And she probably won't ever come to me for anything else. That's totally fine. Because you are not my
You don't
target
go pay for it
audience.
no
Thank
ways.
you. You're not gonna pay for it. You don't see the value in me anyway, right? And so I'm like, I honestly, that was frustrating for me. That was the most frustrating thing that made me finally get on board, even though I had already invested. That made me say, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this, and I'm tired of this. And even though I still had a job, that job wasn't paying me nothing.
Mhm.
So I needed more income
You
because
made
I
a
live in
really
Seattle. If you know what Seattle is, you know this state, no money. You're not getting paid here. And the doggone cost of living is freaking sky high.
You made a really good point, Jeanea, when you were like, I was the rebel. So let's talk to our rebels for a minute, right? Because, I am prone to do the same thing. I'll go look, like, let me see what you're talking about. Okay, I'm going to take what I want from it, and then I'm going to do my own thing. And while I 100% support every student that I have taking control of their business and making their own decisions as far as what's going to work, what's not going to work, there is something to be said about following the steps. So,
Yeah.
so what advice would you give to our rebel students who are like, okay, I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go here, and I know Amber knows what she's talking about, but I'm going to still do what I want to do for a little bit, even though I'm paying. What's your advice to them?
My advice is to sit there and watch. You do what you want to do. In the next 6 months, when all of your peers have made 12K, 15K, done brought their prices up, is living the life, and you still sitting there at like 5, you done made some progress. Now you made some progress.
Made some progress.
But you have not maximized your profit. And that's a difference. There's a difference in making profit and maximizing it.
Absolutely.
So you can do that if you want to, but just know that you're riding down a slippery slope and you're going on the slowest moving train.
Oh, that's good. That is so good. And that's what I like.
You're on the slowest moving train.
I like to think of programs and coaching and like anything you can invest in yourself is an opportunity for you to expedite your results because you're learning from someone who already made the mistakes. So when you invest, you're saying, okay, I'm going to learn from their mistakes rather than I need to experience it myself, which gets you to it's a shortcut. Like it's really the cheat code. A coach is a cheat code to getting to your results faster if you listen, if you show
Exactly.
up,
It's like, why would
if you do the work.
you make the mistake if I'm already telling you what's going to happen? I'm
Mhm.
telling you what's going to happen. So if you want to go and make that mistake anyway, and honestly, I mean, I'll be honest, and me and Krystal can attest that there are still some students in Amber's programs
Yes.
that continue to do it their own way, but the results are right there. You do it your own way, or you do it the program's way, and you can see the result.
Mhm.
And me
Yeah.
personally, shoot, I'm telling you, after that couple months where I was like, you know what, I was making progress. I just wasn't where I wanted to be.
Mhm.
Amber told me to go up on my prices, and I was like, hey, I don't. That's just I just can't see somebody paying that much, looking stupid,
Which is
looking
your
stupid.
own
I'm not.
limiting belief.
If you know me, then you know this is just how I talk. I was looking like a stupid fool because I chose to do it my way,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was a proven process. It's
I
fine to
really
use
think
the
it's a
proven process
mindset
if
shift.
you. It's fine to use your process if you've already succeeded in this system, but you haven't. You don't have anything else to go off of except for your frustration. So, do you want to continue your frustration,
Mm.
or are you trying to move forward?
Yeah.
That's the thing for me.
Whew. Okay, so frustration, that's where we were on. What did that frustration feel like? So, Krystal, share your frustration as you were just, trying to figure things out. And then I want you to share your approach because yours is very different than Jeanea.
Yeah.
Hers is the
Yes.
right way.
And my mine was like, I need to follow these steps. But for me, it just really I'm the type of person that a lot of times, or at least at the time, I was attaching the lack of success in my business
Mhm.
to myself. Like it was messing with my self-worth. The fact that, because if y'all can't tell, I've always been like a straight A student. You know what I mean? Like when I was in the military, I did things a certain way and was able to easily excel. And so having my own business and it not working and me just literally beating my head against the wall was starting to affect me on like a deep level.
Yeah.
It was messing with my self-worth because I felt like I know that I'm good at this. And I'm one of those people that even though I had already, I was like, let me go back to school, and learn how to do all these design things, all that. So I felt like I had the tools, so I couldn't understand. So it was frustrating, it was annoying, and it was actually, there was lightweight some depression there and everything behind all of this. Like this was serious. And for me, I felt like, I had done some research. I had Googled, and done some YouTube University, Google, and try to figure out stuff about funnels and all of these things. But it was like it never dawned on me that the problem was the things that you can't like see immediately. So it was like it never dawned on me that the problem was the foundational things. Like the problem was me not knowing what I wanted and who I wanted to serve.
Yeah.
Like if somebody would have told me that, I would have thought it was fluff. Because I've said this before, I always felt like when people talked about mindset and you need to know who you want to serve, I thought stuff. And so I think for me, the approach to this was I have tried other things and I've been doing this for so long and nothing else is working. So let me follow this. So I printed everything out. I've said this before. I printed everything out. I followed that sucker step by step. If it said post something in the group, I didn't say, oh, well, I'm just going to, I posted it in the group. If it said write your number down or whatever the case may be, I did that. Like I literally did every single step. And it was a huge mindset
Yeah.
shift for me to understand that the foundational things had to be done first. Because believe me, I wanted to look at the rest of the portal, okay? I wanted to see, I saw all the goodness and I wanted to go look at all these other things.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, starting at literally lesson one, step one, whatever the instructions were, and going through step by step. So I had to get out of the hustle mentality.
Mm.
I had to get out of the mentality of let me hurry up and let me go to this module because this is probably going to help me get to the bag quicker. And I need to hurry up and do that. It was like, no, start at the foundation. So
It sounds like
Me,
you learned how to focus.
yeah.
That's what
Yep,
it sounds
absolutely.
like. I know I have a proven process in front of me. So
Yeah.
let me trust that process and let me see the results, Okay.
Mhm.
So, two very different approaches. And, I think from what I have observed as, as the coach, the teacher, um, everyone has their own style. So I don't want, if you're, a prep schooler and you're like, well, like neither one of those really fit my style. Get clear on what your style is, because you can't force somebody else's learning style on yourself. So number one, you need to know, how do you learn, so that you can make sure that you are learning in the way you need to. Number one.
Yeah.
And then once you know how you learn, stick to it. Like, if you know it works, do it, right? So
That part.
I love to see that there are just different perspectives, different ways, different approaches. And there's really no, I don't want to say there's no right or wrong way. The wrong way would be is if you don't utilize it at all. If you don't come to any calls, or if you don't watch the replays, or if you don't, consume the content and then take an action.
Mhm.
If all you do is consume. Like, there's lots of variables and there's layers to this. And at the end of the day, it's a matter of, what are you gonna do? Because can't
Right.
nobody get the result but you. And that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I love that you mentioned the calls too, just real quick, because one of the things I think made a huge difference for me too was not just praying out and just doing everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's things out there where you can go print out the modules and do it on your own, but the calls, showing up to every single call that you can, that is really where a lot of the magic is.
Yep.
Being able to do that. So just
It's that
throwing that in there.
that energy, being in the space, and even if you watch a replay, it doesn't matter. You still, like, energy is transferable. You can feel my energy
Yeah.
right now, and you can absolutely feel my energy on a replay. It's a matter of, again, are you going to tap into your resources? Are you going to tap in?
Yeah. And I think the main thing is, I would think for me, I have always had a full time job, and I won't get rid of my full time job, not unless this business is making like 500K.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna keep this job because this job is a great job. But I think watching those replays is gonna be too, because I could pop on a call, I could turn the call on, listen, and they would literally be there. I'd be like, I can't turn on my video or my camera, but I'm listening, right? So listening to the call, even if you can just come on and hear it, or even just getting on the call and getting in the chat, or watching the replay, because any way you can consume this is what you want to do.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because I definitely identify with those who have a job.
Yeah. And so, like you said, getting on a replay, like, what can you do? And that's okay. Whatever you
Right.
can do is fine.
Yeah.
But commit to it. Commit to it. If you can show
Yeah.
up for yourself for 30 minutes a day, and that's literally all you have, that's fine. Just use it. Commit yourself to it. Okay. All right. So I want to switch gears a little bit, and we kind of already touched on this slightly. So what was it about? So I know neither of you really had a process. So what did it feel like to actually come into a program, a space, a community that offered some structure and a proven process? Like, how was that different, having a proven process? How was that different from your initial, like, approach of YouTube University or Google, or I'm just gonna wing it? How is it
Right.
different?
Yeah. So before I came in, my process consisted of, and I say this very proudly, my process consisted of Square appointments, Square for my, whatever payment processor, and then sending my contract in Adobe. And then from there, everything was in email. Doesn't that sound so glorious? Right. So that was my process. And it was driving me absolutely up a wall, because I literally was being by email and just overloaded by emails, messages, giving clients my phone number when they absolutely did not need my number at all. And then when I got in this call and when I get in this thing and and I got like, oh, you can use, Dipsado. And I had already used like Honeybook and just failed it. It was just not working for me.
Honeybook wasn't my
But
jam.
I don't have anything against them. Whatever system you use, that's the system you use. But for me, I really love Dipsado because I love how clean it is and I love how much you can do up in there. And I love that it also gives you your financial metrics, which at that time, I don't think Honeybook was doing in great detail like Dipsado was. So for me, it was like, it literally was like, I don't know. I would I would equate it to that nice bath that I took last night when I dropped that bath bomb in there and got to watch my show and not have to worry about nothing. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was great. It was amazing. I could just do it. I could live. I didn't have to be tied to this doggone business all day and night. Like my clients know exactly what they need to be doing. They don't need to be hounding me. They don't need to send me a million emails. Some of my clients I do not talk to all the time, but when it's time to work, we work.
We work.
That's what I really enjoy about this is that not only was I getting the strategy and the structure, I was also getting the support with knowing, A, I'm not alone. B, she's been here and everybody else is there. And then C, here's what you need to do to move forward. That's what I would equate it to. Just amazingness.
Okay, so having someone hold your hand, like, yes, all of that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any hand holding clients.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. But I did have that when I was sitting up doing 1,000,000 edits.
1,000,000.
Jeanea, you were
Million,
better off than me.
zillion,
I'm almost
zillion.
embarrassed to say what my process looked like after that, because girl, I didn't have one.
You had
like,
you had something worse than swearing.
Girl, like, listen. Okay, the way that I was doing things was that first of all, I had my number everywhere. I had it on my website. I had it like on my Instagram, all of that. So what was happening was that people would either a referral or wherever it was, they would contact me and like basically just tell me they're over the phone. Usually it was a text message, what they were looking, to get. I never said no to anything.
Never said no.
Never.
Let's highlight
like,
that.
If you
Never said no.
Never said no.
Girl,
Been there, done that.
Like, sir or ma'am, if you contacted me, you was gonna be working with me, right?
This was my motto. If your money is green, we good to go. I didn't care. If your money was green, we good. Like, that's how I ran my business. I just needed the green. I need to see the green and we good. That's it.
Yeah.
That was my criteria. Can you pay? That's all that matters.
She said, if we got a face on it, I'm rolling with you. Is it a face on it? $1 will make it, honey.
Girl, and I really thought I was doing something too. I'd be like, yep, got a new client.
What does it say? Double Ace Graphics on Instagram says, I'm running to delete number off of Instagram.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
please
girl,
delete your number up there. I beg of you. You will feel so much better.
Yeah.
Because it puts them in control from the get-go.
It's like off gates.
Have zero control over the way that people are contacting you and if they're going to be on your schedule, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have no Acuity, Calendly, none of that. It was just like whenever they decided to text me or call me, it could be any time. For somebody that I don't even know, I was available. So we would do that. And then, girl, like, literally, I think I was using Adobe, like Jeanea was. I was using Adobe. Yeah. So I did, but it was literally like maybe a paragraph long, like, little agreement that I would type up. And I was doing it different for every single person.
Oh, yep. Because the client's different, so everything has to be different.
Every little thing got to be different. They need a customized process.
Everything.
Custom experience. No, it don't have to be custom.
That's why we start with vision. That is why we get clear off gate, because you will be in your business doing the dumbest stuff because you don't know no better. Yeah. When we know better, we do better.
Yes.
I really did that same thing too. Everybody had a custom experience. Yep. Everybody can't have the same thing. And I'm like, yes, they can have the same system. Yes, they can, stupid. And Krystal, not Krystal, Amber was like, what? Everybody has their own system. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, they need a custom experience. Like, you have to give them a custom experience. This is what they're paying me for.
For
And she's like, yeah, not
$300.
at $450.
Like,
That sounds like me too. Not for $450.
Not for $450. They're not. No.
Yeah, like you have to know. So we have something called non-negotiables in prep school. What are you not willing to do? And someone asked me. We were talking about like minimum wage or jobs and stuff like that, and they were like, "Would you do X for $9 an hour?" I was like, "I ain't doing shit for $9 an hour." Like, what do you know you are willing to do and not willing to do? Like, I know you're not going to call me and text me because I hate talking on the phone. So I'm creating boundaries and structure based off of what I know about myself. And a lot of times we come into business thinking we have to fit into some kind of mold and we have to do business a certain way. And that's the first place you mess up, when you are not true and authentic to who you are in your business, so that it can actually be like an extension of you instead of like a something that sucks the life out of you, right? Like it's this positive thing instead of a negative thing. But yeah, let me see. Okay, so we talked about like how the process changed. We talked about, I know we're running out of time because y'all both have calls coming up. So let me see. What I want to know, because I feel like prep schoolers, like they have a good idea of where you've been. They have a good idea of what you've accomplished. So now I just want to I want you to explain to them in your own words. Since you have gone through the program, since you have been able to accomplish so much, like, what does your life look like now? So we know what it looked like before Hot Mess Express. How is your life different since being able to...
What that jet plane feel like?
Exactly. So paint that picture for us, how life has changed, because I want our students to really know, like, your current situation is not your final destination if you choose for it not to be. So let's give them a glimpse of what a final destination, or it's not even a final destination. Like, this is where you are now. Next week, next month, y'all gonna be on a whole other island. So what's that look like?
I hope so.
I guess I'll go first. So my life looks like being able to be an active participant in my household, financially, emotionally, being able to be more present because I'm happy.
Physically, you're there.
Yes. Yes, physically, and not feeling like I'm working, doing all of this and still not earning any money, because that messes with you, with anybody. But that, it feels like having more time on my hands. It feels like it's easy to say, hey, let's plan a vacation. You know what I mean? Like, we're going on vacation this month and I'm not taking my computer.
Yes. So, how many of you can say that? I'm going on vacation and I'm not taking my computer. What? That's goals right there. Yes. I still take mine because I love my, like, I can't.
Yeah, I take mine because I like to, I think part of me is just like, I love this business.
And that's the hard part when you
But I'm not attached to it. I'm not dying to have to do it. I don't have to just do it.
You do it because you want to, not because you have to. That part.
That's how I feel too. I do. Obviously I'm a designer. I still like to design. But because of this program, I've been able to put things in place and put a team in place that I would never even been thinking about saying nothing about no team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But being able to put that stuff in, because I was like, ain't nobody doing this but me.
Right. Can't no one do this but me. No one can get this right. And that right there is keeping you stuck, because when you have a process, anybody can do what you do. Truth be told.
One of the things that you said to me, when I was in prep. So one of the things you said to me that really hit me one time is that you said, I need to productize my services. And that...
Oh no, did it cut out? Is that
was
my
a
internet?
game changer
Okay.
for me, and actually is what put track of thinking about, okay, this is what I can do to actually have a team. And
Oh no, I think my signal is bad.
my
Oh no.
computer.
That's my
Oh,
internet is
so,
bad. Hold on. It says waiting for signal.
oh,
Okay, I think we're back. Okay. Oh no! Okay, let me. All right, Instagram. Y'all see? Let me turn this around so y'all can see my face. Oh wait a minute. Hold on. Why want to turn around? Okay. Answer. Okay, I don't know.
can you hear me, Amber?
Yeah, so like my internet went out. Hold on.
Oh, I like that it's still live.
It's yeah. Okay, and so I had turned my Instagram around because I was like I was going to just show some behind the scenes of like tech happens and you can lose a whole broadcast and be in the middle of something. So just a real
Yeah,
moment
that's
right here.
good. Okay.
Yes. Okay, let me turn this
Yeah,
back
this
down.
is tech can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter what type, how much money you making. Tech is
Don't
tech.
matter. Tech happens, y'all. Tech happens. But okay, so
You
Krystal,
gotta be able to keep it moving.
exactly. We can't let the issues like hold us back.
Girl, yes, we can't
Yeah.
take that and use it as an excuse to not keep moving forward. And that applies in this program as well. We can't say, well, I'm stuck on this one part. Like, let us help you get unstuck and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people do that even in the program, is like literally saying, I'm stuck on one part and never moving on from that. And they're 6 months later talking about the same part that they're stuck on. It's like, get help with that
Oh,
and keep it
Lord.
moving. But
Absolutely.
It's
And
like, didn't we discuss that last month?
well, prep school won't hear last month. We do have a saying in Design to Profit though: don't suffer in silence. And I really
Yeah,
think
don't.
that is like I think one of just the best features that we have is one, you're in a space full of designers who get it, who have experienced what you have experienced. Then,
Mhm.
in addition to the community and the framework to teach you how to do it, you can then go and ask your coaches questions. So we have six-figure coaches at your disposal to ask questions. We have coaching calls every single week with a six-figure earner. It don't matter which one of us you get a six-figure earner. Someone who
Right.
knows
We all made money.
we know what we're doing. And you have access to us when you're in prep school. Not
Yeah.
just us, we have peer coaches as well. There are the amount of support that you are getting for $67, it really is too good to be true. And it's just a matter of what are you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So I know my internet is kind of messing up and we're at the top of the hour. We didn't answer any questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a post. We'll put a post in the prep school community and they can ask their questions in there and we'll make sure we get those questions answered, because that's one of the perks of being in the community is you guys on Instagram, yeah, you got to experience this and it'll be, in other locations to view, but you don't get to ask us questions. You don't get to,
right.
pick our brains, have conversations. It's like listening to a podcast and wishing you could ask a question. That's what this is, and that's really what the opportunity we are affording our prep school students, because we want you to get to the next level. We want you
Yeah.
to create whatever your heart desires by way of your business. And if you can dream it, we can help you see it. We can absolutely help you see it. It's just, and it might even be too big for you to see right now. Just like Krystal said, like, even myself, I have to pinch my damn self sometimes to be like,
Right. Like,
I've done what now? Oh my gosh.
that's the same. Exactly. That is me. That was me today.
Like how you hired a second, your team grew today, right, Jeanea?
Yeah, my team grew today. I hired a design assistant.
Yes.
And I already had a virtual assistant. So we're a team of 3
Okay.
over here.
Like a year and a half ago, did you even think that this is where you would be?
Girl,
Absolutely
no.
not. And I'm about to be the one crying. So let me not be the crier because
Listen, I don't know if I even have any more
no, I
tears
did not think that
left.
this was a thing. I didn't think this was a thing. I literally did not even think like when it was time for me to go up on my prices in this program, I went up maybe like a little $1,000 or
A little
$2,000. That was
thousand.
it.
Let's listen to that though. Like
I
a
went up a
little
little
thousand.
$1,000, then I went up to like 2,000, and she was like, "I don't understand what's going on with your revenue. Like, I don't understand if this is where, like, I don't get it." And so she's like, "Just bring it all, submit it all." I submitted. She was like, "No, this is not it. You're not setting yourself up." So no,
I
I
remember
didn't
that
because I didn't think
call.
I was worth it. I did not think I was worth it, and so no, I didn't think I was worth even having a team. And
Mm,
I was like Krystal, where I felt like I should have my hands in every pot.
everything.
Now I'm like, no, I'm not. I shouldn't. So
It's a
yeah,
mindset
it's
shift. It's really shifting from how can I do less in my business, like being in the weeds and think at a more strategic level
Mm-hmm.
versus like being in the weeds doing stuff. And it all
yeah,
starts literally at the foundation of Amber asking you, what do you want?
And
At the
why?
very and why?
yeah,
If you're not able to answer those questions of why, you don't if you can't see your future and think about the final destination, then you can't take the steps to get there.
You
And
have
so
no
that's
clue
why
where you're going. No clue.
yes, like we've got to start at the
absolutely
beginning.
none.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And that's just the
Okay.
beginning. The beginning is setting the destination, and it can evolve and it can be so much bigger than you ever
Yeah.
thought, but it starts at the foundation. And that's what prep school is. That is what prep school is. So I'm going to
Yeah,
go ahead and end it here. We went over. I appreciate both of you so much. Like, y'all have no idea just to have been able to witness your transformation. And I'm getting chills. And to just know that I had any part of it is so amazing. Like the little girl in me, little Amber, little 7-year-old Amber that just
I'm
didn't
back.
exist. Like, y'all are making her so proud. Like, oh, gosh, y'all. I can't even. Like, this is so much beyond what I could have ever fathomed. And I had no clue, like, what this would be and what it is and what it will continue to become. And I'm just so honored to have had you guys trust me, to go through the process, to do the work, to get results, and now to be giving it back, paying it forward to other designers by being a part of my team. I am just so, so, so grateful and thankful for both of you and all of my students, my prep school students, my DTP students. Like, this ain't about me. None of this is about me. And that's why it works, y'all. So if your
Yeah.
business, your focus is about you, you gotta step back. It's gotta be bigger. It's gotta be bigger than that. And that's what we focus on in prep school, and we follow through to DTP. And if you're ready, we're ready. We just waiting for y'all. We just waiting for y'all. We got a whole group. We got questions to answer. We got,
right.
you
Hit
know,
that button.
hit the button. DM me if you're on Instagram. DM me if you have any
Yeah,
questions. Krystal and Jeanea are also open. They're an open book.
Oh yeah.
You
you
know,
can ask me any questions.
Yep. Slide in the
Any
DM. We
questions?
slide
will.
into the DM. We're here to support you. We have an amazing community of people just waiting for you to join us when you're ready. So I'm going to go ahead and end there. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. Thank you for just always giving and being a part of this community, because it's about y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we will see you on the next episode of the DTP Show. I'm so excited we finally did this, and we're going to get the next one up soon. So I'll see y'all later, guys. Thanks. Bye.